Hey guys, welcome to Grace Kids TV. I am so excited that you are here today, but before we get started, let's get on our feet and worship.
God, you are great. And we want you to know. God, you are great. And we love you so.
On the nights when the dark lasts a little bit longer, when the wind and the storm is a little bit stronger, when the fear in my heart digs a little bit deeper, and when my faith to stand gets a little bit weaker, where could I run to? Where could I go? Even when it feels like my world is shaking, even when I've had all that I can take, I know you never let me go. Whoa. And even when the waters won't stop rising, even when I'm caught in the dead of the night, I know no matter how it ends, you're with me even then. When the days up ahead look a little bit brighter, but the grip of the past holds a little bit tighter, I'm reminded your grace never asked for perfection. Oh, I'm restored 'cause I'm yours and I stand forgiven. Yeah. Even when it feels like my world is shaking, even when I've had all that I can take, I know you never let me go. Whoa.
run down to set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live, that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom come. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Everybody dance. Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher. Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Oh, oh, oh. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. You are alive in us. Nothing can take your place. You are all we need. Your love has set us free. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey friends, welcome back to Grace Kids TV. I'm Danny and this is Cassie, and we are so excited to be with you.
Welcome today, and we're continuing our amazing race through Genesis. Remember, Genesis is the first book of the Bible, and we're racing through the book, learning about God and his people. We've seen twists and turns and obstacles and roadblocks along the way. And last week, we were introduced to a guy named Joseph. God knew everything that would happen in Joseph's life, and he had a plan for Joseph.
Ooh, that was our secret word for last week,
Yes, it
wasn't
was.
it? I wonder what our secret word for today is. Do you have it? Can we open it? I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready.
I have it. Yeah, and take a deep breath because
Okay.
I also have a clue.
Ooh, exciting. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, it's a globe.
Yeah.
Okay. Globes are really fun to look at because you can see all of the countries and continents around the world and on Earth. But I'm confused.
Yeah.
What does a globe have to do with our secret word?
Okay. I'm going to tell you. So our secret word is everywhere.
Ooh.
Everywhere. So the globe reminds me that God is everywhere. The world that we live in is pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's amazing that God created the entire planet with so many beautiful places and people and cultures, and he is everywhere. Danny, have you ever traveled somewhere?
I have. Here, let me show you
Okay.
guys. Okay. The only place I've been outside of the country is in Toronto, Canada, which is right here. So it's not very far away from Indiana. Then I like to go to Disney World a lot, which is right down here in Florida. And I've also been to New York on a missions trip.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There are so many amazing places in our world. Let me show you one more that's pretty cool. Egypt is incredible. It's a country in northern Africa. It's
Found it.
mostly desert with a big river that runs through the middle of it.
Oh.
The people who lived there thousands of years ago built amazing structures that are still standing today. Can you believe that?
So crazy.
I think it'd be exciting to get to travel to Egypt, don't you, Danny?
Yeah, I think Egypt would be really awesome to go and see. And I think it would be so cool to see the pyramids.
Yes.
Like, to think about how they built those pyramids without, like, cranes
Right.
and dump trucks. Like,
With just people.
mind-blowing. I wonder how long it took them to make them.
Probably a long time.
You know, I have a couple friends actually that had a race to see who could build the fastest pyramid out of cups.
What?
Let's check it out.
Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Josh and Addie, and they are going to be racing today. We're going to do a cup stacking challenge to see who can be first to complete a pyramid shape with their cups. So let's give them a few seconds to do some warm-ups so they're ready to go. On your marks, get set, go. Here we are, round 2. Josh is the returning champion. Great job, Josh. With him is Matthew, who he'll be competing against. On your mark, get set, go. Nice job, Matthew. Hey everyone, now we are to the final round, round 3. We have them tied. Josh and Matthew are tied at 1-1, so this will be for the tiebreaker. This one's gonna be a little challenging though. You are only allowed to use one arm, one hand. So one is behind your back the whole time. All right? So pick which one you're gonna use. All right, because you know what? There are roadblocks and obstacles in life. So we're gonna have some obstacles for this challenge. All right, here we go. Oh, and I might throw a few things at you too. All right, on your mark, get set, go. Oh, we got Josh, so close. All right, nice job. Josh is the champion. Nice job.
That was super fun. In our story today, Joseph actually got to travel to Egypt, but he was not so excited about it. Let's see what happened.
Hey everyone, my name is Miss Carrie. I am so glad to be here to tell you our Bible story for today. So Joseph is headed to Egypt. And you've talked about Egypt a little bit, right? So Egypt is a big country. It's in North Africa. And there's this river, the Nile River, that you hear about a lot when you hear about Egypt. And back in ancient Egypt at this time, there were some huge structures. Have you ever seen pictures of pyramids? Well, those were there when Joseph was in Egypt, and they're still there now. People can go to Egypt and see them. Isn't that so cool? Well, another thing you need to know about Egypt before we get to our story is the king of Egypt. His name was Pharaoh. And he was kind of even more than a king. People thought he was as powerful as God. Isn't that crazy? We know he's not, but people thought he was as powerful as God. And the people always listened to him and obeyed him. And if Pharaoh liked you, you were good to go. And if Pharaoh didn't like you, or if you did something he didn't like, you could get in big trouble. We'll hear about that in just a minute. Okay, but let's catch up a little bit with Joseph, okay? I have some pictures and I'm gonna show you one at a time, and we're gonna act out different parts of the story. You ready? Here we go. So Joseph was one of 12 brothers. We've heard about that, right? He had dreams that he was more important than his brothers, and he was his dad's favorite, and he got a fancy coat like that. Look at that, doesn't that look sweet? Well, let's act out. We're putting on a coat, kind of like Joseph. You put on a coat? Feeling special? And God was with Joseph when he was his father's favorite. But the brothers didn't like this so much. This is our next part. You know what that is? A camel. Well, the brothers were so mad and so jealous of Joseph that they decided to get rid of him, and they sold him to some men who were going to Egypt. And the men probably rode on camels like this. Now, I've never ridden a camel, but I can imagine it was kind of bumpy. So can you bump up and down like you're on a camel? It's also really hot. Ooh, really hot in the desert. So they went all the way, the long trip to Egypt, and God was with Joseph the whole way. When Joseph got to Egypt, he was sold as a slave to a rich man named Potiphar. Can you say that? Potiphar. And Potiphar was a very, very important man in Egypt, and Joseph worked hard for him. He did lots of important things like sweeping or cleaning. So let's act out what's a chore or a job Joseph might have had to do, or something you do. Can you act it out? I'm gonna sweep. Sweep with my tiny broom. Sweep, sweep, sweep. It was very hard work, but God was with Joseph every moment of the time that he was a slave. Well, after a lot of hard work, Potiphar saw how hard Joseph was working and how well he was doing, and he was very pleased with Joseph. So he put Joseph in charge of running the whole house. You know what that is? Joseph made sure all the other servants were doing their work and that everything was getting done. So let's pretend we're checking things off of our list. Check, check, check. We got it. God was with Joseph when he was taking care of Potiphar's house. Well, things were going fine for a while until Potiphar's wife got mad at Joseph. See, she wanted him to do something and he knew he shouldn't do it, so he said no. But then she got mad and she told Potiphar and lied about him and got Joseph in all kinds of trouble. She took his fancy robe that Potiphar had given him and threw it on the ground and yelled that Joseph was being so mean. Give me a thumbs down. This lady, not a good choice, lady. But God was with Joseph and helped him do the right thing even when it was hard. Now, Joseph didn't do anything wrong, and he tried to tell Potiphar, but he got chained up and went to jail. They left him there, and that is such a bummer. Can you make a sad face? Oh, I don't want to go to jail, especially if I didn't do anything wrong. That is not fair. But even while Joseph was in prison, God was still with him. Well, when Joseph was in prison, he met two of Pharaoh's servants. One of them served drinks to Pharaoh, and one baked bread for Pharaoh. Now, the Bible doesn't tell us what these two guys did wrong, but remember, if you did anything wrong, or if Pharaoh didn't like you, you got in big trouble. So, let's act out taking a bite of the bread, and maybe act out taking a drink. Good job. Okay, so God was with Joseph when he met these two men in prison. Now, one night, the two servants had strange dreams. Get it? It's a pillow for your dreams. And when they woke up, they were so confused, and they asked Joseph to explain the dreams. So let's pretend to go to sleep on our pillows, and then I'll count 1, 2, 3, and we'll wake up. Okay, ready? Go to sleep. 1, 2, 3, wake up! Good job. God was with Joseph, and he helped him understand the meaning of those dreams. Next, we have a clock. Have you seen this before? Well, one of the servants went back to working for Pharaoh, and he told Joseph that he would try to help him get out. That sounds nice, except that the servant forgot about Joseph. And as soon as he got back to working for Pharaoh, just forgot. So Joseph stayed in prison for 2 more years. He waited and waited and waited and waited for someone to let him out. Let's tap our fingers like we're waiting. Waiting. Ugh, I don't like waiting. Well, God was with Joseph, even through all that waiting. Well, one day, Joseph finally did get to leave prison. He got to go meet Pharaoh. That might be what he kind of looked like. So, Pharaoh had a strange dream, and he needed somebody to tell him what it meant. Well, the servant finally remembered that Joseph could explain dreams. So Joseph was brought to Pharaoh. So that's good news. Let's give a thumbs up and say, I'm the king, in our best Pharaoh voice. Can you do it? Like this. I'm the king. Good job. So God was with Joseph when he finally got out of jail and went to see Pharaoh. With God's help, Joseph told Pharaoh what his dreams meant. And what it meant was that the land in Egypt was going to have lots and lots of food for the next few years. And they needed to save it up because a famine was coming. A famine is when it doesn't rain, and so plants can't grow, and if plants don't grow, we don't have food. This is bad news. But Joseph was so smart and so helpful that Pharaoh put him in charge of gathering up all the extra grain, all the extra food, and saving it for when they needed it. So let's scoop it up. Can you act like you're scooping up, picking some food, putting it in your basket? Good job. God was with Joseph and helped him know what to say to Pharaoh and how to help. Pharaoh was so impressed that he made Joseph the next in charge of the whole land of Egypt. So Pharaoh was the king. He was number 1. But Joseph was number 2. He was the number 2 in command. People everywhere had to obey Joseph, just like they obeyed Pharaoh. Can you show me 2 fingers? Because Joseph is number 2, second in charge. That's right. And God was with Joseph and helped him rule in Egypt. Whew, that's a lot. Joseph's life is amazing. So many interesting things happened to him. And our secret word today kind of ties a bunch of that together. Our secret word was everywhere. Everywhere. And I think we can safely say God was everywhere with Joseph, wasn't he? I mean, he was with Joseph, when he was growing up and he got a cool coat. He was with Joseph when Joseph got sold to be a slave in Egypt. That's a bummer, but God was there. And God was with Joseph, helping him when it was scary and he was sad being in jail, and then when he had to help people figure out their dreams. And God was even with Joseph when Joseph became number 2 and was in charge of all of Egypt. That's amazing. No matter where Joseph went or what happened to him, God was there. God was with him, and God helped him through the good times and the bad times. And God did this because God is everywhere, all the time. And guess what? He'll be with us just like he was with Joseph. So this brings us to our big idea today. Can you read this with me? God is everywhere. Let's say it again. Ready? God is everywhere. God is everywhere. This was true for Joseph way long time ago when we read the story in Genesis. And it's true for us too, friends. He's with us at church, at home, in the car, at the library, at school, at the park. He's with us everywhere. And he's with us on good days and on bad days. And he's with us when we feel safe and happy. And he's with us when we feel sad or when we feel nervous. God is always with us because God is everywhere. Well, good work today, friends. Thank you for helping me with that story. Let's say a prayer and then we'll be done. Put your hands together. Dear God, it is amazing to think that you are everywhere. Thank you for being with us no matter what, just like you were with Joseph. Thank you for loving us all the time. We love you too. Amen. Friends, thank you for being such good listeners. I hope you come back soon, next time, to wrap up our amazing race through Genesis.
So, sounds like Joseph had a lot of crazy things happen to him.
Yeah, he did. And I think we can say safely that God was everywhere with Joseph. Through all of the good times and the bad times, God was with Joseph.
And that is such a great reminder that God is with us too. He is everywhere we go, guys. And as you are out and about this week, maybe you're at home or you have school and activities to do like soccer, basketball practices, gymnastics, whatever you do. Remember that God is always with you and he is everywhere. And he is with us if things in our lives don't go very well too and when things are hard. But he is always there.
That's right. All right, guys, that's all for this week. But we're so glad that you could be here with us. Make sure to come back next week for our last lesson in our amazing race through Genesis. Bye, guys.
See ya.